I'm Elsie.
And I'm Debbie.
And we're two sisters Southern cooking. Making homemade tater tots today. So the first step is going to be done on the stove, and we're going to boil whole potatoes for about 5 to 7 minutes until they're just starting to be cooked, but you do not want them to get very soft at all. So about 5 to 7 minutes they'll be to the point that we're going to hold them and grate them and make shredded potatoes basically. So as soon as they're done, we will rinse them in cold water until they have cooled down a little so that we can handle them. So we are going to the stove right now and we will show you what we're doing. Y'all, I have a pot of water here and I'm going to start putting in my potatoes.
We got a lot of potatoes.
We have a lot of potatoes.
I told Elsie we might have to pour some of this water off, depending.
We'll see.
Because this is a lot.
Leaving them whole is going to make it a little easier to shred them up with the grater. Yeah, we're
only going to be cooking this for how long?
5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, so it's not even going to have really anything done to it, just enough to be able to like give it a little bit of sturdiness.
Okay, I'm going to probably,
that's right at the top.
Yeah, I'm going to take off some of that water.
Okay, we're going to let this cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. We'll be back.
Now I'm going to add cold water to them. It might take me a couple times of adding cold water for them to cool down enough. Once it's full, I'll drain it one more time, then I'll put more cold water in.
Now these are not completely cooked, are they?
No.
Okay. Alright, we'll show you when we get ready to shred them. Hey y'all, so we are going to go ahead and take our potatoes that have cooled down fairly well, and I'm going to shred them in here. So I'm just going to take them like this here and just shred them into pieces. And then I'm going to put in a mix. Now, what all did you put in the mix, Elsie? You put rice flour, coriander.
I put all-purpose flour, rice flour, coriander, oregano, onion powder, and salt.
That's gonna be good, y'all. So the best way to do this here, so you're not dealing with this all day long, take your shredder like this here and just take your potato, because your potato still has a little bit of cook time left to go on it, but that's going to go when you finish up your cooking process. But you just want just enough to be able to take most of the starch off of it and to cook it just a little bit. But we left it in cool water for what, about 15 minutes or so?
Yeah.
I've got 10 potatoes to do like this here. So
I can help you for a minute if you want.
If and when I'm done, before dinner sometime tonight, I will come back and I will show you us mixing the dry ingredients into here, and we'll go ahead and get everything ready to be pattied up over here, as we could set it in the refrigerator for a short period of time before we get ready to finish cooking it. So, all right guys, we'll be right back. Hey y'all, so we are done. I couldn't have done it without Elsie, because let me tell you, these were 10 large Idaho potatoes. That would have taken forever, and look at the amount of potatoes we have. All right, so there's a trick to this. If you don't want to go through the process of what we just did, buy the shredded potatoes in the frozen food section at your local grocer. That will cut out all this arm work we had to do to shred these potatoes, because these potatoes are not quite done. They only had 7 minutes of cooking time, and then we drained them, rinsed them with cold water several times, and then we brought them in here and dried them off, and that's what we got here. So, before I go to oil my hands, the key to this is Elsie has a bunch of seasonings and spices in here. And I'm just going to go ahead and just put this on top here. Because I want to mix these in. But the key to this is you need oil on your hands. So I'm going to go ahead and spray oil on my hands so my hands don't stick to this. And I'm going to flip these over so I can get the seasonings under here. The key to it is to put a little olive oil or oil, whatever kind of oil you want, on this. And just mix your potatoes in. Try not to smush them because it totally defeats the purpose of you having hash browns. I smell the Italian seasoning in this. It smells so good. All right, just a little bit more. And I'm gonna spray my hands one more time. So my hands don't stick. Trying to make sure that we have seasoning on everything. It's the purpose of us trying to make sure everything is coated. And what I'm doing with this is I'm taking the potatoes underneath and scooping it so I can mix it together. So we don't have like a bunch that doesn't have any coverage. So all right. Just gonna put the gumminess in this bowl here so I don't have to deal with it. So I'm going to go ahead and just form these. You can do either little, like a little rectangle, or you can do round. But all of them have seasoning on them, so that's the good part. There you go. And I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator and let them sit in the fridge for a little bit, just so they can cool down, and then when we're ready to cook them, we'll be ready to go because everything will be prepared. Set that right there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish these up off camera and I'll be back. Hey y'all, so it is ready now to go into the refrigerator until we get ready to cook it. These made 75 squares or rectangles of hash browns. Now, my thing that I strongly recommend, use an oil on your hands because it does stick to your hands. In between each pan, I went and washed my hands. And the second pan, I did not put oil on my hands and regretted it. So, strongly recommend putting some kind of oil, whether it's olive oil, vegetable oil, whatever, on your hands. Number 2, do not use 10 large potatoes or you will be having 75 of these hash browns like we do. If you don't want to do the labor intensive of grating it, then the best suggestion is to get the frozen potatoes that are already shredded in your grocer's freezer. But I would strongly recommend, if you're going to use a large potato, I would use about 3 or 4 potatoes and that's it. Do not do more than that in order to feed about 5 to 6 people. Because this here actually could probably feed about, what, how many do you think? Probably about maybe 15, 20 people. So we're going to go ahead, put these in the refrigerator, let them sit up until we're ready to cook them up. But I just wanted to give you those as pointers, and this is the end product and what it looks like. All right, guys, we will show you what it looks like when we're getting ready to cook them, and meet us at the stove.
All right, I have formed them in little balls, and I'm dipping them in flour and putting them in here to let them become golden brown. All right, guys, we'll show you what they look like when they come out. Elsie.
And I'm Debbie.
And we're Two Sisters Southern Cooking.
Please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.